All right, welcome back, everybody. Oh boy, we're in one today. We're exactly 1 week ago today. Jim Barker was with us here in Moose Jaw, Western Dodge. Today, he's back in the GTA, back home. Hey, Coach, how you doing this fine Friday?
Doing great. Doing fantastic. Not quite like Moose Jaw, but it's hotter than Moose Jaw, I can tell you that.
You can have it. You can have it. It's very
Uh,
comfortable, as you know, out here in Canada's most notorious city. Jim, we're in one today. We're in one. I don't know how much you've been watching. I'll get to the violent Argo fans in a second. That CFL game last night, another classic, just a classic ending in the CFL last night. Ottawa and Winnipeg Bombers winning at 30-27 on the last second field goal.
well, it was a classic water cooler game because there's so many things in that game that you can sit at the water cooler at work and talk about. One being the O'Shea decision. And where that reporter that you talked about that asked him about why did he do it, uh, that wasn't the question to ask Mike O'Shea. And I know because I've coached with Mike. He was a player. We both worked for. Have you ever seen South Park? And that kid who says, "What would Jesus do?" Well, the question to Mike O'Shea is, what would Don Matthews do? And Don believed, who was hugely influential in OSHA's career and mine. We were both with him a lot. And he believed any field goal over 50 yards that you try should be returned for a touchdown. And he just felt that was, and I know Sergio made a 63-yarder, but in that situation, they've got their backup quarterback playing quarterback, and you're up by 7. And they have Khalil Pimpleton returning it. Again, I understand. I haven't heard any of the pundits and what they're saying, but I'm just saying from a coach's perspective and from a Mike O'Shea because I know his background. And if you ask him, what would Don Matthews have done? I promise you, he would have said Don Matthews would have punted it and got the win. He would not have gone for a field goal and allowed because he thinks that's one of the easiest ways to score on special teams is a field goal over 50. You got linemen. Even if you bring in your linebackers and things that can run a little, that's a huge field to bring a guy like Pimpleton down. And that was the first thing that went through my mind is Don is rolling over in his grave, Osh. It was. But then you go the other way and you look at they get the ball back with 37 seconds on the interception. Ottawa does. This is prior to the last kick of the game. With 37 seconds. Now, normally what you're going to do, because they were backed up, they were back around the 20. Normally what you're going to do is hand the ball off, and if you get 10 or 12 yards, now you got a chance to throw a pass, get in position to kick it. What they did was they threw a pass on first down, and it was only going to get them 3 yards. A little flat pass, incomplete. Stops the clock. Winnipeg doesn't have to use their timeout. So now they run the ball and get 7 yards on second down, but they take a timeout. So now they're forced into punting the ball. And I just think if they'd have switched that around and run the ball on first down, maybe they only get 2 or 3 yards. And then if you're going to throw it on second down, what you're going to do on first down by running is force that timeout then. Now you control the game. As long as they have a timeout, they can still control the clock. So that's what I would have done. I would have run the ball on first down, and then if depend on how far I have and what we did will depend on what we're going to do on second down. So that was the first major thing. And then when they punt the ball, they end up getting the ball back around the 45. And again, Zach Collaros showed why Zach Collaros is still one of he's just a great player. I mean, he never tucks the ball down, only when the game's on the line. And I'll never forget my first year in the league in '97. We're in the playoffs against Montreal in the Rogers Center, and we're having a tough time. And he just takes the ball and goes. 3 straight runs Doug Flutie made. Well, that's exactly what Zach did here. Zach goes back. Thing opens up. They play 2-man, which is a shock because they're not expecting him to run the ball. 2-man. all the underneath guys, all the linebacker types are all covering guys with two guys behind it. So it's a safe pass coverage. But if the quarterback ekes through the line, he's running for a while. And he, of course, ran for 17 yards. And again, the TV announcer said, now they're going to get it in the middle. Well, it was still over 50. It was 52-yard field goal. And the middle in the CFL is not what it used to be. I mean, it's hard to get the ball in the middle. The hash marks are so close together. So, of course, he threw an out cut, got a 10-yard gain, moved it up 10 yards, and it was just almost like a chip shot for Sergio. So there was just so many great, interesting things in that game.
That's a lot on that game. Let's move on if we can.
All right.
Argo, I got to get.
No,
I know. We haven't spent enough time today on the Ticats Riders game tomorrow, which I want to, but just the fact that the Argos fans are so upset, their team's being displaced for 3 games next season, the Lions for 2. I'm just sitting here going, guys, what else were they going to do? Have you seen any talk on this?
You're talking about the king of displacement. I've been in Toronto a long time. We played a game up in Fort McMurray, Alberta. We played the Edmonton Elks because of a displacement thing. So, again, I think the way they're doing it is great. Here's the interesting question. So will Saskatchewan and Winnipeg sell these as 11-game season tickets, 9 a preseason game and this game? Will they sell it as an 11-game season ticket package and then cut the Argos a check for 1/11 of their season ticket money? Okay,
probably not.
Or they in the Argo letter it says you can actually, with your season tickets, you can actually buy one to the Hamilton game. So they'll have 7 games, 6 plus the preseason, and then they can buy the Hamilton game also, which means that, again, the way these games go, if they buy it in their season ticket package, you're going to have a great crowd. We played in Hamilton Stadium, but played Calgary there. And had about, like 30 people. It was like it was an awful environment, awful setting. It'll be better because Hamilton's playing. It'll be even better if they sell it as part of their season ticket package. And I'm sure, I'm hoping that's what happens. And that way the Argos get whole. And I was a little surprised they didn't do a Atlantic, a touchdown Atlantic type of game, or that kind of thing, or potentially play Montreal in Quebec City at Laval, something along those lines. Might have been interesting, but I think they did it the right way. There's no doubt that World Cup would take priority and needs to, and that's a once in a lifetime, type of event. And I don't think that should be an issue with Argo fans. And again, I think if it's sold right, and when you watch television, it looks like a sellout when they play there. And again, it's just a regular game for Winnipeg. It'll be one of their home games, so it should be. And then if the Argos are getting the ticket revenue, and you're an Argo fan, you should feel good about that. So,
yeah, I don't know why they're so upset, but for all the things you just said, number one, you'd think you'd be used to it, and I think they complain just to complain. But I feel I get it. I totally get it, but it's also not new, and what else were they supposed to do? Okay, it's not even close. The game of the week is Ticats at the Riders, and I would
you're
think
wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. The game of the week is tonight, Toronto, Saskatchewan, where you have 2 teams who have to win. Those 2 teams tomorrow, they don't have to win. That's you can talk. If they lose, if both teams, either one loses, they're still going to, worst case scenario at the end of the week, be tied for first. But these 2 teams on the bottom, they're going to be so far down looking up. That game means something. You're going to see a lot more emotion in that game tonight than 6, 7, and 1 playing 6
I hope
and 2
so.
or 3.
Yeah, I hope so, because they're 2 not very good teams. But can we at least say you've got the Ticats picked to win the Grey Cup, and they may. I mean, if anybody wants to call this a Grey Cup preview, I'm not big on that in August, but I could see why you would say that. Like, that's pretty tantalizing matchup.
They're 2 best teams in the league right now, and 2 very physical teams. I think Saskatchewan, playing at their level, when they play at their level that they're capable of, there's no team more physical than they are. And Corey Mace has made it that way, and that's why they are what they are right now. They matched that game they took to Winnipeg. They matched them physically, and it was just so impressive to me. If they do that, Hamilton's going to be in for a long ball game, I think. Now, Hamilton's offensive line, outstanding. The defensive line, not so much. And what surprised me is how well that Saskatchewan offensive line has been playing. They're keeping Trevor clean, and again, keeping him healthy is everything. I mean, it's just that's everything for them. I mean, I love Mayer. I think Mayer could be a great backup for, but we don't know. We don't know what he's going to be. We know what we're going to get with Trevor. And what you're going to get is a solid game. He's going to throw a lot of completions. And if you make an error, he's going to find Emilus in that seam and get a big play. You throw that with an offensive line that is being able to run the ball some. I think Mark Mueller is as sharp an offensive coordinator as there is in the league. I just, the way he packages the run game with the pass game, to me at times is brilliant. And again, I was an offensive coordinator in the league for a while, and I know how tough that is, and so I've been very impressed with how he utilizes formations and does those things. So I think Hamilton's in tough, but they're coming off of a bye, and which helps them, and they haven't played in forever. It seems like maybe it's not a bye, but they haven't played in a long time. So both teams are going to be healthy. They're going to both be rested. It'll be good. It'll be two teams, probably the two best teams in the league right now. I think the fans will be very into it. I think you're going to get a great crowd Saturday evening. It's a perfect setup. Again, I'm gonna pick Saskatchewan just because they're so physical. I just think that it's like a street fight. And you get it's a little it's funny because I was watching this week some of the NFL practice stuff, and Detroit was having practice with Miami, and Miami hired Mike McDaniel, who's a quirky guy. I mean, if you've watched him in interviews, he's just a different, he's like a an IT guy that
Yep.
has been in the lab all the time, and and he's brilliant. He really is an offensive brilliant guy. And then on the other side, you got Dan Campbell, and you got teams playing and practicing that way. I always take physical over geniuses. I just think that's football, and that's what I look at in this game. Not that I think Scott Milanovich does a great job, but I'm going to take physical over what Hamilton does right now. Even though I did pick them, I did pick Hamilton to beat Saskatchewan in the Grey Cup. If they look back at that TSN preview show, I think I'm the only one that had it.
Well, there's still lots of football left to be played. And since you opened the NFL door, I love going down that road. We're in week 2 of the preseason. Have you thought about a Super Bowl pick yet, by chance? And if not,
sure.
Would you? Yeah? What?
Sure. I mean, obviously, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are the team. How do you not look at them? They've been to, they're like Winnipeg up here. They get there all the time. I think they're very focused. I think the loss helped them. I think they're, but they are getting older. Travis Kelce even said that. He said, we're getting older and whatever. So, but do I think they'll beat the Bills? I do. I think they'll beat the Bills. The AFL West, totally different thing. You go from coaches in that league, Brandon Staley, Nathaniel Hackett, and Antonio Pierce, to now it's Pete Carroll, Jim Harbaugh, and Sean Payton. Now you talk about an upgrade in competition. I just believe, again, I'm an old guy, but I love what old guys have done. So I think it's going to be a tougher road for Kansas City. But I like Kansas City in the AFC. I do like Buffalo, but I just think Kansas City knows how to get there, and they have, to me, the greatest player in the game right now in Mahomes. Again, so I'm going to take them on that side. And then, again, Philadelphia, they do things right. They really do. They do things right. So again, I would pick and I hate picking a repeat of last year, but that's right now. Again, one injury and it completely changes everything. But I think Philadelphia has done the things you have to do to continue doing what they do. I just love Saquon Barkley. I like the way their team is put together. Jalen Hurts is the right guy for that. Nick Sirianni, I think, is the right coach for them. It just all works. It works. I mean, Minnesota.
Yeah.
What are they going to be with new quarterback? Cleveland. I know you were talking about Shadur's. Shadur Sanders plays a game and he's already out with an oblique injury. Please. I mean, it's all about being healthy.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. It's some of these guys get me. I mean, I just, you're in training camp fighting, and he's got a great opportunity because Dylan Gabriel's hurt. Joe Flacco, they're not giving any reps to. The kid from Pittsburgh, I can't even remember his name. He's
Kenny
not
Pickett.
practicing. Kenny Pickett not practicing. Yeah. What a great opportunity. And he's got a sore oblique. God, come on, man.
Kids. Well, listen, in the time we have left, because this may take you a while, I was reading a top 10 questions entering the college football season this week, and one was, how will Bill Belichick do in North Carolina? Wouldn't we all love to know that answer with Chris Jones? How do you think that's going to go with the Tar Heels?
You know what? I think they're actually going to be decent. I think they'll be decent. I'm going to say they'll be like 6-5. They'll make a bowl game. I think they'll make a bowl game, but they're not going to be one of the elites. I don't know that they've spent the kind of money. You look at the kind of money Texas and Georgia and Alabama and those people spend. It's a different. You're going to see the same teams in it every year. Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State went out and they lost a bunch of guys, but they just went out and bought a bunch more. And spent $2.4 million, I think, something along those lines. So it's guys are making a lot of money in college football now. So I think it's going to be hard for North Carolina to compete with that. I think that Belichick, I'm sure, recruited it like, you want to be an NFL player, I can help you do that. But it still comes down to money. And I haven't heard that North Carolina, Mike Tannenbaum's their GM, and they're paying him $1.5 million. But how much have they paid players? And that's ultimately what it comes down to in college football is players win. And again, Belichick, it'll be interesting to see. That's for sure. It's coming up. We're only a couple weeks away.
We're less than 10 days, I think, from the first actual week 0 game. Oh, yeah. Wow. And then I think it's Texas OSU in week 1. Like real early, we're going to find out who's tops in college football. Oh, yeah, I can't wait. The comments are coming in. Arlen Bruce writes in. He says, great job, coach. This year in the NFL, there will not be an undefeated team. Well, most years, AB, there is not. But thank you. Jeff the Stamps fan says, Belichick alone gets them a bowl game. High profile. I think the Pop-Tart Bowl. We'll see. That's played in Orlando.
Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yeah, I would love to go to that. Maybe I'll go to that. Okay, Coach, this has been great. Enjoy the football.
All right.
See you in a week.
Thanks, Rod. See ya.
Jim Barker joining us, 5-time Grey Cup champion coach. We'll get to all your comments and a sports update when we come back live here on Game Plus Television and, of course, found on all major podcast platforms.